Hey, good afternoon, students, and welcome back to another one of our online classes here at Elite Educators. So, first of all, how are you guys doing? You guys could answer in the comments below. How has this quarantine affected you? Are you guys happy? It's like you guys get to do much more stuff. You guys have no school. Are you guys missing your friends? For those of you guys who write an essay, just remember, I was actually talking a bit to the students I have on Wednesday class, which is the micro bootcamp, and we were talking about this is the first time, one of the first times the essay exam has ever been postponed. And the thing is, this is actually the answer to a lot of students' prayers. Even in university, students are like, yeah, we wish we could have our exams postponed, and it never happens. But you guys have to use this time wisely. You have to pace yourself, make sure you don't get burnt out, because you have a little bit more study time. So this is ideal for students who did not start to study as yet, but it could be a little bit unnerving. It could be a little bit stressful for students who were prepared to write the exam on April 2nd. Now, today, what we're going to do is we're going to do a comprehension, which is the best part of the essay exam. You guys know why? You guys can answer in the comments below. One of the main reasons, and I say this all of the time, is because the comprehension is the only part of the essay exam in which they give you the majority of the answers. In mathematics, you have to make sure to remember certain concepts. Yes, the question itself might hint at a particular topic, but they would never give you the full answer, because in mathematics, they have a different method of testing. They test a different set of skills. They want to make sure you have a recall, you have the use and understanding of particular concepts. With comprehension, it is exactly what it says it is. Comprehension means understanding. So they give you a passage, an essay, a short story, and you have to extract certain information from that short story itself. Now guys, because this is the first comprehension we're actually going to do on video, I actually choose to do it through the camera. Now what I usually do for the other classes, on the iPad itself, I have an app where we put the question paper, and I use the Apple Pencil to annotate to the document itself. I could write on the document, I could highlight, I could draw smiley faces, I could draw a zombie puppy, all of those things. However, with comprehension, I will be reading it to you guys. So I believe audio is a bit more important. And what I'm doing is actually I have a wireless audio setup, so I can actually you'll get way better audio quality. You guys will be able to hear me better. I'll be able to read it through. Miss Aruna, she will be sending these documents for you guys via WhatsApp, via email. And in the event you don't have access to internet, you don't have access to computers, you don't have access to YouTube, you could always pop by, just let us know about hours in advance, and we'll put all of the files on a flash drive for you guys. So we cater for everybody. Now, starting tomorrow, we're actually going to be using Zoom meetings. I still have to make the official video, the official launch video as yet, but I bought a year subscription to a corporate account for Zoom meetings. So we're going to have high-def video classes. We are right now, I think because of my YouTube background, we have a little bit of an edge on everybody else who's trying to play catch up. So we're going to have online conferencing, and I'm actually doing this in association with some other teachers who I helped set up their stuff. So we tested it, did all the beta testing. It is ready. So without further ado, let us start. Now, with comprehension, I always advise, if you guys doing it in a homework setting, to get the full benefits from the comprehension itself, you read it at least 3 times. The first time, you just skim through it. You read it as fast as possible. The second time, you take out those highlighters that we give you guys. If you don't have a highlighter, take out your pencil. If you don't have a pencil, anything that will mark on the paper itself, and then you underline the key concepts of what you think is important. And from that, after the second reading, the third reading would happen after you start to read the questions. Now, the questions are all based on the comprehension itself, and as I tell you guys all of the time, now, again, this is not this will not happen all the time, but it does happen in a majority of the cases where question 1, the answer for question 1 is usually found in paragraph 1. Question 2, the question is found early, the answer is found earlier on. So remember, that happens for 90% of the cases, but it does not happen all the time. Sometimes they might actually just ask you to find something. It could be anywhere random in the passage, but in revision, it is always good to have these tools, these guidelines that will actually assist you and to help you guys ensure that you have the correct answer. Without further ado, and this comprehension, actually chose it because it was exciting. It is a short story. So comprehension. Task 4, fiction. Read the passage on Lost in the Woods on this page. Using complete sentences, answer questions 19 to 28. Now remember, complete sentences. So whenever we extract an answer, we have to put complete English. We have to construct an entire sentence. Now that does not mean that we have to rephrase it or reword it. We could use the information directly from the passage. Oh, this is the coolest thing about this mic. I'm actually able to go and get a bottle of water and not have to stay right next to the camera. Oh, I'm also filming this in Quad HD, so this video is going to take a couple hours, probably a day to upload to YouTube in high def. Okay, Lost in the Woods. Hours had passed, and there was no sign of any game. Now, just to make the passage a little bit more understandable, game refers to, and you guys will actually see it in the passage, when a hunter goes to hunt, they refer to whatever they are hunting as game. So, whatever they go to hunt, whether it be a goatee, whether it be anything, it would be called game. Though the barking continued, but Nathan was sure that Gypsy was a good hunter and could not be chasing a shadow. She was hot on the trail and really after something. With gun in hand, Nathan stumbled through the bushes, moving in the direction of the howling dog. So from that, we could already see that Nathan is the hunter, Gypsy is the hunting dog, his assistant, his little doggo, but a hunting doggo, and howling dog, direction of the howling dog. Still, there was no sign of any game. All he could see were monkeys swinging from the branches of the giant trees in the deep woods. Now, guys, also remember, I tell you guys all the time, when we're doing comprehension, now I will go into a little bit more detail because of the fact that this is video and I could talk for however long and give you guys as much instruction as possible. In class, due to time constraints, I will not go into so much detail. We'll focus directly on that essay syllabus because, come on, you want to pass with first choice. But maximum file size reached? What? Okay. I may have to cut this down and make it into another video. Alright, we'll pause here and we'll go into another file for part 2. Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so a bit of technical difficulty there, but what I saw was that it said maximum file size reached. So apparently, after we reach a certain file size, the files would split. So instead of one super long video, like a 50-minute video I uploaded with the essay micro bootcamp, we would actually have to split it into multiple videos. Now, I just changed the settings. So instead of ultra high def 60 frames per second, we actually at full high def 60 frames per second, because 60 frames per second is life. It is the best thing ever. So in order to not have a break with the comprehension that we're doing, what I'll do is I'll start over. We'll reread it from the beginning, and that would be like the second reading. So let us begin, because I don't want the videos themselves to be too fragmented. Hours had passed, and there was no sign of any game, though the barking continued. But Nathan was sure that Gypsy was a good hunter and could not be chasing a shadow. She was hot on the trail and really after something. With gun in hand, sound effects, Nathan stumbled through the bushes, moving in the direction of the howling dog. Woo! I should get my dog. He'll make a howling sound for you guys. Still, there was no sign of any game. All he could see were monkeys swinging from the branches of the giant trees in the deep woods. Monkeys. Just what Nathan feared was now happening. It was raining heavily. And guys, before we got cut off because of the file size, what I was telling you guys is we always try, because of time constraints, to use one particular part of the essay syllabus to help us with other parts of the essay syllabus. What could we learn from this? Besides just comprehension skills, besides just answering certain questions, whenever the essay examiners, they use a particular passage or essay, they usually choose one that is really good. One that has really good grammar, one that has amazing, vivid descriptions. And what we could see here is an example of a model essay. So for instance, remember with the essay exam, you have two types of writing. We have expository and we have narrative. Expository would be the more factual things, like the report writing aspect of it. A narrative would be the freer one, the one where you could write about anything. That would be the short stories. That would be the ones where you could use vivid descriptions. And the report writing, like I tell you guys all the time, we adopt the frame. Just imagine that we're actually writing for your school principal. If we were writing for a school principal, we wouldn't have too much detail. It wouldn't be too vivid. It would be to the point. It would have a lot of facts. It would have a lot of information in a logical sequence. And we wouldn't put anything fictional. We would try to make it as realistic as possible. So let us, a good example of that was in the first paragraph, last line. All he could see were monkeys swinging from the branches of the giant trees in the deep woods. So here we use adjectives to paint a clearer, more beautiful, vivid picture of the scene. We can actually feel as if we were in that environment, feel that we were actually in the woods ourselves. Just what Nathan feared was now happening. It was raining heavily. So you guys see, he said it was raining, comma, pause, and then raining heavily. So you could actually feel a sense of cold, a sense of worry, because he's in this forest. The place is dark. It's just him, his hunting dog. His hunting dog has left. He's following his hunting dog, and he doesn't know what is in store. The forest is a huge, wide place with a wide variety of creatures, animals, some dangerous, some friendly. With his gun beside him, he crouched beneath the dripping branches. So as you guys could see, they didn't just say he crouched beneath the branches. Because it was raining, they continued to use more adjectives with regards to the scene, which is rain, the dripping branches, as swift flashes of lightning lit up the dark forest, and thunder cracked loudly. So guys, you guys could feel he crouched beneath the dripping branches, and then it was lighting up because of the lightning. And then we have thunder. So the lightning would appeal to our sense of sight. We would see huge flashes of lightning, and then the thunder is loud. That would appeal to our sense of sound. And even more, we were talking about the drip, about water. It was raining heavily, the dripping branches. So imagine water is dripping on him, which would appeal to the sense of touch. So water would actually be on his skin. So he would actually feel that. Let us continue. Thunder cracked loudly. In the distance, he could hear the echo of the barking dog. Bow wow, bow wow. Oh, guys, I have no idea why it seems as if it is shaking. The tripod is fully stable. Could be a lens aperture. Okay, on to... Alright, rain poured on. Rain poured on and on, as if it would never cease. Darkness was creeping in slowly, and Nathan could now hear strange noises in the stillness of the woods. He was deeply terrified. Could it be Papa Bois misleading Gypsy? Would he and Gypsy be taken prisoners by this devil? These ghostly thoughts swirled in his head, and he was becoming sicker with fear. Now, I'll talk a little bit about Papa Bois after. And because we have time, because it's a video, it is in full HD instead of Ultra HD, I'll be able to share with you guys a little bit of literature and a little bit about Papa Bois and some folklore. Unto the end of it. Soon it was pitch blacker, and the rain was only a drizzle. So you guys could see the transition. At first it was raining heavily, so it went from no rain to just a drizzle. In the frightening silence, Nathan stood clutching his gun, unable to move. No longer could he hear even the faintest sound of Gypsy's voice. And Gypsy's a dog, so voice would mean barking. 18 hours ago, he had left his cottage home in a peaceful mountain village. Would he ever return? Suddenly, a light flashed before his eyes. Aha! It's Papa Bois, he thought, as his heart pounded and pounded. But no, it was not. It was a party of villagers who had come to rescue him. Yay! Nathan now began to breathe comfortably. His pale face turned into a big, broad smile as he ran straight to his little son, who was among the party of rescuers. Thank heavens, he muttered to himself. Thank heavens. It was sad, though, that they could not find Gypsy. But the villagers returned for her the following day. So again, since we have a little bit more time than usual, I'll share with you guys a little bit about Papa Bois and a little bit about the history of the passage. So Papa Bois, the folklore character, is one of the most widely known forest protectors. Papa Bois is also known as Maître Bois, or Daddy Bouchon. Forgive my horrible pronunciation of that. He is the old man of the forest who can appear in alternate forms, such as a deer. Cloven hoofs appear where there should be feet, and he has a very muscular frame. Papa Bois does not tolerate the killing of animals for killing's sake, or unwarranted destruction of the forest. He is known to sound a cow's horn to issue a warning to his animal friends of approaching hunters. Papa Bois can lead hunters deep within the forest by appearing as a deer so that they can chase him. Then he resumes his true form to sternly warn them to stop their destruction. He then suddenly disappears, leaving the hunters lost in the forest, or make them pay a fine, such as being forced to marry Mama to glow. If one should encounter Papa Bois in the forest, it is very important to be extremely polite by greeting him with "Bonjour, vieux papa," or "Bon matin." Okay, that's definitely French. Also, to be careful. So, a long time ago, before we had so many street lights, before we had so much technology, there were folklore. These were stories that were told generations upon generations. So like, for instance, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, they had these stories. And these stories all were really common. And in these stories, they have characters. And usually the characters in these stories are there to give a lesson, to assist, to make the world a better place. So Papa Bois is essentially the protector, the guardian of the forest. Actually, I did some research. This is a book by Angelo Bissessing, Fellow Napsman. This is what they said is potentially a graphical picture of what Papa Bois was described to look like. So a long time ago, when there were hunters, there was this legend, and the legend was that people who tried to destroy the forest, people who tried to kill animals indiscriminately without any reason, they would have this protector, this figure who would basically who would discipline hunters. So like, you know, if you do something wrong in school, the principal will come and like buff you up and be like, no, don't do that, don't talk in class. This was somebody who was fictional, it was not real, a figure who would make hunters afraid of doing bad or wrong things, like overhunting or killing innocent little animals. So students, question, why would somebody create a fictional character? Well, one reason could be to make sure hunters don't abuse the forest, to make sure they don't just kill animals for fun, only if it was necessary to provide food. It would be there to protect our forests. So this passage essentially actually has a little bit to do with the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, back then they didn't have cameras, they didn't have photography, and because of that, these stories lived on. But now that we have a lot of technology, I mean, these stories are dying down. But it is important that we preserve our history so that we could pass it on to the next generation. This is actually part of our history, what we belong to. So let us first read through the question. I am now seeing the battery's on 15%, so we may have to do another video. So, okay. So, question number 1 for 1 marker. Who was Gypsy in this story? I remember I told you guys, we will answer the questions, but I just want to show you guys how simple it is. Who was Gypsy in this story? Let us just go back to the first paragraph. So hours had passed, and there was no sign of any game, though the barking continued. But Nathan was sure that Gypsy was a good hunter. So that's the first clue, a hunter. But that doesn't give us what or who Gypsy was. Could not be chasing a shadow. She was hot on the trail, so we know Gypsy was a her. And really after something. With gun in hand, Nathan stumbled through the bushes, moving in the direction of the howling dog. So, just from first paragraph, question 1, we get the answer already. Guys, you didn't have to remember anything. You guys didn't have to study. You guys didn't have to go and do 300 questions. It was just given. That's why whenever you guys see comprehension, smile. Biggest smile ever. So, okay, from this, we learn that Gypsy is a dog. It is the dog, a hunting dog, owned by the main person in the passage, which is Nathan, who's a hunter. And we know that Gypsy is a girl. So, I'll read through the questions with you guys. And I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. You guys could like pause. You guys could do this at home. And then afterwards, I'll do another video with the answer. Number 20, write an example of personification from the story, 2 marks. 21, write 2 examples of imagery from the first paragraph of the story. Again, they're just limited to 1 paragraph. So remember, when you guys answering this question, don't answer from paragraph 2, don't answer from paragraph 3, don't answer from paragraph 4. First paragraph of the story. So make sure, and it's just a process of elimination. Eliminate everything until you have 2 things that show examples of imagery. Okay, 22. Write 1 phrase that appeals to the sense of hearing and 1 that appeals to the sense of sight from the second paragraph. And remember, second paragraph, 23, what is the mood? In paragraph 3 of the story, write 2 words or phrases used to create this mood. And you have to list the mood, and then you give 2 words or phrases to create this mood. 24. What is the meaning of the word game as used in the story? We actually kind of went through that already. 25. What is the writer's opinion of Papa Boa? 26. How did Nathan feel when he saw the villagers? Support your answer with evidence from the story. So this is an example of a question that is super easy. Nathan was scared because he couldn't hear his dog. He was lost. and he didn't know what to do. So when he saw the villagers, he felt relieved. He felt happy, but they didn't just give it to you a super easy question. They asked you to support your answer with evidence from the story. So we have to ensure that we have the relevant evidence to prove, using lines from the story, that was exactly how he felt. Because we could say anything. We could say he was sad, but we need proof. So we have to show them exactly how we got that. And that is exactly what I tell you guys with regards to the story that I give you guys all the time with regards to the $100 bill story. So remember, and you guys have heard this before, but again, for repetition, especially for maths, when they were changing the $100 from the old cloth $100 bills to the new polymer $100 bills, when people go in with large amounts of money, they wanted proof. They wanted proof of where you got the money. They wanted to ensure that the money was honestly made, that it was fair, that you got it by honest means, by working hard, by studying hard, by getting a good job, or by having a business. So what they would do, if, for instance, somebody came in with like a couple $1 million and that person had no way of explaining the money, then they would investigate that person. They would look into it. This is the same exact thing with your working, especially for maths. If, for instance, the question is for 4 marks and you just give the answer, the examiner will not give you full marks. They'll just give you 1 mark. And they need to know that you understand that concept. Because, I mean, come on, think about it. If you just put the answer, it could be that you just happen to look and you saw the answer in someone's paper, they forgot to cover their work. So they want to make sure that you truly understand the concepts that we are teaching. So the same goes for comprehension, the same goes for creative writing, the same goes for everything else. Make sure, put your work in, make sure that you show them that you truly understand the logic behind it, that you understand the work and the processes. Alright, how would you describe your villagers? Support your answer with evidence from the story. And last question, what do you think Nathan should have done to avoid being lost? Write 1 suggestion. So we went through the questions. We did not go through the answers as yet. So I'll do that as a separate video, as my phone battery is on low, and then potentially I might use another device, as I was noticing some shaking. I probably use the S10 instead of the S20 Ultra. Alright guys, this is me. Peace out. We will be back shortly to reveal the answers. So pause here. Try to do it on your own. We will be providing, Miss Erna will be providing the comprehension via WhatsApp, as well as other means. We're actually working on that as we speak. And again, this evening, I'll put out a video saying how we're going to do the chat tomorrow. We're going to do a live video chat, because a couple of my friends, a couple of my mentors who teach secondary school, who teach universities, I was actually on a chat with a university lecturer last night, and he had 200 students, and I was there like, what? So I'll share the rules for the chat, because he was having some issues where some students were like, the mics were on, he was hearing SpongeBob in the background, and he was like, what? I'm talking about chemistry, man. Why am I hearing SpongeBob and Patrick? So we're gonna go through that, and before my phone battery dies, guys, peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.